KnitCrate on time with my cast off video this week. I don't think I made but 2 for May. I'm just glad May's over. I am filming right now while Thomas is gone because after my last video and his shenanigans, I copied and pasted a comment over and over and over when I was replying. He's like that all the time. He's so goofy. It's so easy for me to ignore him and I forget what he looks like to other people. So yeah, he kind of lives in his own little world and carries on complete conversations in his head. I have no idea. When he was little, I'd say, "Are you talking to me?" And he'd say, "No, I'm talking by myself." And that's pretty much how he still does today. So anyway, and yes, the camera was on. I was on the iPad so he could clearly see himself, and that's what all those antics were behind me that I could also see but was ignoring. So anyhow, he's not here today, so we can talk about business. And in reference to that video, I had talked about when you use a mobile device, the benefit of turning your device on its side so that you fill up the screen instead of holding like this, which really isn't any big deal, especially if you have nothing to show. If you're just talking, fine, but if we need to see something, we can see it better if you turn it on its side. And Kristen, who is Mia's mom, and some numbers, I don't know, I'll have to look it up. Kristen, she doesn't do any yarn videos, but she does have some great videos of the dogs and stuff you need to check out. But anyway, Kristen had mentioned that she's a tech person, and she said, "I tell people, if you get a new TV, are you gonna turn it on its end like this to watch it?" No, you're going to turn it like this. And I thought that was a brilliant analogy. So next time you whip your phone out or whatever, try to think of a TV. That's how you would put it up. Okay. And while we're mentioning other people, if you are an Addi user and you bought a tool bench, like I had shown a while back, that idea actually had come from Susie, Addi King Loomers and Knits, and I bought one, and then I found that I couldn't situate them just right. I wanted both of them on there, but the tricky part about mine is that I wanted to take the legs off of my king size because the legs wobbled where they attached into the machine, and so my problem was a little bit unique. But Sister Margaret Mary found a way to make them fit with the legs on very tightly by making a modification in the clamp, and I'm going to put that video link in the description box so that those of you who may be interested in seeing how they both fit together could benefit from that. I'm proud to say that I finished the Scoodie, a pattern by Zoe 24 Karat Crochet. She said I was testing this, but I think she had plenty of people test it before me because the pattern was excellent. It was right on the mark as far as I was concerned. I fell in love with this pattern. Well, let me go through and tell you what the deal was. Okay, first of all, it called for James C. Brett Chunky Marble, and I didn't have any of that. And I was ready to start this project right away. And I have more yarn than I should have. I feel like Terry Tinsel in the Room of Shame. But I didn't want to go out and buy anything special. And actually, we can't even buy that here. I'd have to order it. And so looking through the cabinets, I had some chunky or bulky, and I did not have enough because you needed like 750 yards or something like that. Anyway, I got to looking at the Carat 1 pound, which is what this is. Now follow this line of thinking because I had absolutely no fact to base any of this on. But I started thinking in my head. In the UK, the normal average yarn that you get is more of a DK weight. Here in the States, our normal average yarn is number 4 worsted. Okay, so that's a little bit fatter. So I started thinking, I wonder if what they call chunky is actually lighter than what we would call chunky. And again, I have absolutely no basis for this. I have never even seen James C. Brett Marble Chunky. Don't have any clue. So I pulled down this Carat 1 pound because it's a number 4 worsted that is on the heavier side. And I thought, let me just see how this goes. Now she used a 7mm hook on that, and I used a 6.5 on this with this yarn, and it came out, I think, really close to the sizing that she had. Hers, it did extend out a little bit more, I would say, than mine. Well, let me put it on me because these heads are a little bit. But see, Zoe's extended a little bit more past her face. But I am perfectly content with this. I think this is fine for me, a child. It's just very versatile. So you could follow the pattern exactly as written and use the Carat 1 pound or a thicker weight worsted if you are so inclined. 6.5mm hook. Somebody's walking on the levee, and Bentley thinks that the levee is our property, and he yells at him. Now, I loved this pattern. It's really heavy. I used the entire skein of the Carat 1 pound. I think I only had like 36 inches left when I finished. I would probably rate this somewhere along the lines of an advanced beginner / intermediate, solely based on your pattern reading skills. Okay, because the increases, when you start up here, and when you're making the increases with the front post, back post, double crochet, you really have to pay attention to what's going on, and you have to be comfortable reading a pattern and translating that into the actual object. But once you get going, once you get past that and you're just front post, back posting, it is a breeze. I did the entire scarf part, watching TV and just with my feet up. You don't really have to count anything. You just go. You're working it this direction. So you just go until it's as long as you want it to be, which in my case was pretty handy dandy because I was using a substitute yarn and I wasn't quite sure, oh, am I going to have enough and whatever. I didn't want to get caught in the middle of a row. And so with these little bitty short rows, it was great. Now I did make a mistake on this, but again, the pattern is so forgiving. It's another reason why I would put it in that advanced beginner category is because you can fudge a little bit and you don't notice. Let me show you the difference. You're supposed to have an odd number of stitches, which I had here. But then I had made a mistake somewhere and I lost a stitch. Can you see how it's thinner? And I realized it one time, so I ripped back a really far way. And so I went back to, and it happened again. And I thought, I had done a whole bunch more, and I thought, I'm just not going to undo it. Yet, when you join, it joined perfectly. I think it's just the nature of it that it just, I don't know, I just thought it was a great pattern. It's easy. I mean, any mistake that I made was actually covered up. And unless you sit here, you wear this in such a way that these two ends are going to be side by side, and even then I'm not sure if everyone's eye is as good at measuring. But it's just a very forgiving pattern, which I think is wonderful because I am not a perfectionist. So I highly recommend it. Thanks, Zoe. Now, another thing that I've accomplished in these 2 weeks was another knitted hat. And I'm going to have to go on a hunt for this pattern. I found it on a website and I forgot to write it down, so I have to go back and find it. But the hat pattern is fine, but I did not do such a fine job. there are tension issues all over this thing. And of course a lot of it has to do with the fact that I'm a beginner. But why did I have a lot less tension issues with this hat? I mean, So I have a new theory, and that is the yarn. I still am a beginner, and yes, it certainly could have been, my skills. But this is I Love This Yarn by Hobby Lobby. And this was Red Heart with Love. Now, I know Terry Tinsel absolutely hated working with this, and I was listening to him talk about it, and I thought, well, I kind of like Red Heart with Love as far as an inexpensive acrylic goes, but I had only crocheted with it. Now, I have heard knitters fuss for years about the quality of yarn and and all of a sudden I'm putting two and two together. That maybe knitting lends itself to the need for a better quality yarn. Probably not if you have some mad skills, but I do not. And I wonder if that affects the quality of your knitting. I don't know. I don't know. But all I know is that these stitches, which is the first hat I did, these stitches are great. These stitches are not. And I used the same needles, which were these, I think these are Susan Bates or Boy. I saw them in Michael's. I don't remember, but they're just these plastic needles. So use the same needles on both hats, and it was the same skills, knits and purls. So, I don't know. I don't know, but that's food for thought. So I guess just experience will be a better teacher. I just bought a Craftsy class, knit 4 hats, hats 4 ways or something like that, and it's all about knitting with circular needles and the different cast-ons, and well, just a whole bunch of particulars that I just never have been privy to this information. I'm not exactly sure where on YouTube to begin with all that, because I don't even know what to look up to start besides, oh, here's how you do the knit stitch, here's how you do the purl stitch. Okay, well that's great, but tell me some of the idiosyncrasies that go with knitting that I really need to know, and that's what this class does. It's 50% off right now, so I got it for $15. The benefit too that I love is the viewer that the Craftsy classes play on. You can actually speed things up, make them talk faster, which I wish I could do on numerous occasions when I watch YouTube videos. I listen to all audiobooks much faster than the normal thing, unless they talk exceedingly fast, just because my mind's just got to keep going. And so this is helpful when I can get her to speed up through things, or I could get her to slow down. You can even slow. You have a good choice of about 6 different speeds on there, so it's really neat. And then of course you've got that back button to go back 30 seconds, which I've always wished YouTube would have. So, yes, I could get this information free on YouTube if I knew what I was supposed to be looking for. So I think I made a good choice with that 50% off class. And I don't know when I have to get my supplies and the different needles that are required. So I'm not sure when I'm going to start that, but I'll keep you posted on my review of that class from a beginner's perspective. I'm feeling really discombobulated in this video. I'm not sure if I've touched on all the topics that I wanted to cover, but I do know that I have recently read some really good information regarding crochet hooks, and another one on your crochet and your health. Well, actually 2 different things. One is all about the benefits, and another one's about the hazards. And I do want to put those in video form to share with you, so I am going to work on those. And I have a really loud bird here now, so we're gonna leave. Bye. Oh, I thought of something else that I've forgotten to say. Thanks for all the suggestions of the super stretchy bind-offs. Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind-off. There were several really good ones that I did look up and watch on YouTube, and I think I can do them. So that will be great. But I just haven't had a chance to get to that yet. So I'll let you know on my progress of Addi brim super stretchy, surprisingly stretchy bind off. So we'll talk to you soon. Bye.